Hello again, everyone. Marcus here. I review stuff today. I'm reviewing the song Alison by Elvis Costello. This is part of my ongoing series where I'm listening to songs that are coming from albums that are on Rolling Stone magazine's list of the 500 greatest albums of all time. The way the series works is I'll do videos for two, sometimes three songs from each album, and then eventually I'll go and listen to the rest of the album on my own, and I'll come back and let you know what I thought. So this song comes from the album Elvis Costello's My Aim Is True, which was number 430 on the list and was released by Columbia in 1977, the same year the Star Wars came out. About the album, Rolling Stone says, Elvis Costello on the field for his debut. I spent a lot of time with just a big jar of instant coffee and the first Clash album. See number 102. Spoiler alert for what's coming in the future. Listening to it over and over, the music is more pub rock than punk rock, but the songs are full of punk's verbal bite. The album's opening lines, now that your picture's in the paper being rhythmically admired, and the Poison Valentine ballad Alison, which we're listening to today, established Costello as one of the sharpest and nastiest lyricists of his generation. So, all right. I've heard one other song from Elvis Costello at this point. It was I Don't Want to Go to Chelsea, which I wasn't a super big fan of, which is okay because that tends to happen around here. What you guys get to see is the very first time that I react to either an artist or a particular song or both, in which case I Don't Want to Go to Chelsea was my first time ever listening to Elvis Costello. And sometimes with bands, it just takes me a little bit to figure them out, Same happened to, like, the Smiths. If you've been following the channel for a while, I didn't really like the first couple Smiths songs that I heard. But now I listen to the Smiths all the time. And even those songs that I didn't really like at first, I've kind of come around to. So all that to say, whenever I listened to that first Elvis Costello song, I didn't quite like it, but I knew I wasn't ready to give up on him, so I'm glad that we're able to get back to him through the power of this list. So anyway, let's jump in. Alison, Elvis Costello, here we go.
Oh, it's so funny to be seeing you after so long, girl. And with the way you look, I understand that you were not impressed. But I heard you let that little friend of mine take off your party dress. I'm not gonna get too sentimental like those other sticker valentines, 'cause I don't know if you are loving somebody. I only know it isn't mine. Alison, I know this world is killing you. Oh, Alison, my aim is true. Well, I see you got a husband now. Did he leave your pretty fingers lying in the wedding cake? You used to hold him right in your hand. I bet it took all he could take. Sometimes I wish that I could stop you from talking when I hear the silly things that you say. I think somebody better put out the big light, 'cause I can't stand to see you this way. Alison, I know this world is killing you. Oh, Alison, my aim is true. True.
And see, this goes back to what I was saying just a couple of minutes back, where, it is hard to judge an artist after hearing just one song, right? So, I had heard I Don't Want to Go to Chelsea and didn't quite like it. And definitely I get people who are like, I get it. I get people who are like, oh, well, maybe you'll like this instead. But then I also get those people who are like, you're an idiot. You just don't understand. You have no idea what you're talking about, which, I get quite a bit on my channel. If I say something that, you're not quite happy with, if I don't particularly like an artist that you might like, some people take offense to that, and I get it. It's I always try to approach things from the idea that, like, every song is someone's favorite song. Every artist is someone's favorite artist. So it sucks to, like, be negative sometimes and say, like, oh, I didn't quite like that. But it happens, and I don't know how often other reaction channels do it. I know some reaction channels just stick to the positives. Others are, brutally honest for good or for bad. And I think I'm somewhere in the middle, I'll be honest, but, I'll usually try to sugarcoat it, or at least talk about some of the positives, even if even if it was a song I didn't quite like. But with all that said, it's, you can't write off an artist after one song. And I'm glad I didn't write off Elvis Costello, because I really liked this song. I thought this one was great. There were a lot of great pieces, I think, both instrumentally and vocally throughout the song. The lyrics are interesting, and I want to get into those here in a second. But to me, this is one of those songs that is easily going to make my playlist, which we'll talk about here in a second. But, like, that was a good song. I like that a whole lot. So anyway, let's check out the lyrics. Let's break the song down like we always do. But first, there is an about section here on Genius. I want to just see what it says. It says, according to his 2015 autobiography, Unfaithful Music and Disappearing Ink, Costello reports that his go-to story about the writing of Alison is that he became inspired upon seeing a beautiful girl working in a supermarket and thought about how her life might have turned out. He has also denied suggestions that the lines, somebody better put out the big light, and my aim is true, from which the album My Aim is True gets its name, refer to murder. Oh, the liner notes for the song on the album Girls, Girls, Girls also allege that the song has a hidden reference to the Spinners. It has often been speculated that the homage is in how Costello delivers the line, I know this world is killing you, as his staccato signing, I think it's supposed to say singing, somewhat mirrors the vocals on Ghetto Child's pre-choral lyric, life ain't so easy when you're something. Though the song never charted as a single, it has inspired covers that did, such as Linda Ronstadt's cover, which reached number 30 in the U.S. Adult Contemporary chart and number 66 on the UK Singles chart. We've listened to a little bit of Linda Ronstadt here on the channel, and I've enjoyed what I've heard from her, so I might have to check out that cover at some point. So anyway, again, breaking the song down, starting with those lyrics. Oh, it's so funny to be seeing you after so long, girl, and with the way you look. I understand that you are impressed, but I heard you let that little friend of mine take off your party dress. I'm not going to get too sentimental like those other sticky Valentines, because I don't know if you were loving somebody. I only know it isn't mine. So yeah, I mean, if I guess the artist himself is to be believed, yeah, you see this like beautiful looking like supermarket checkout girl, and it's just like you wonder about her life and who she goes home to, and all you know is it's not you. And it's funny because it reminds me of like this meme, this post I saw a while back that was like, there are women right now working in like supermarkets that are hotter than any model you've ever seen in your life, which I honestly think is true. Alison, I know this world is killing you. Oh, Alison, my aim is true. Well, I see you've got a husband now. Did he leave your pretty fingers lying in the wedding cake? You used to hold him right in your hand. I'll bet he took all he could take. Sometimes I wish that I could stop you from talking. When I hear the silly things that you say, I think somebody better put out the big light, 'cause I can't stand to see you this way. Yeah, and it sort of reminds me of this idea that like everyone you meet has their own story, right? And so I can only imagine like, again, like meeting this young lady at this grocery store, right? And just kind of thinking like, what is this person's life like? What does she go home and do every night? Like, what is, like everyone again has their own story, has their own life, and it's often easy to kind of forget that. And so to I think approach it from like a pure writing, like lyrical writing standpoint, and just say like, I'm gonna write this story about this random stranger and what their life could be like or could have been like, I think is interesting. It's an interesting exercise in writing, right? Let's see. My aim is true. My aim is true. Okay. Yeah, I mean, lyrically, I feel like it is quite open enough that you can kind of take it a few ways. I'm glad for the clarification on Elvis Costello's part, because I don't know if I would have, ever reached kind of what he was saying down in that about section. But I mean, again, it's open enough. I think there's probably a few different ways you could take it. Regardless, I did enjoy the way it was written. I'm going to give it a thumb up for lyricism. As far as the instrumentation and vocals go, I gotta say, I'm assuming it's Elvis Costello singing here. I like his voice a lot. He sounds fantastic. Really, I think at the beginning of the song there was this sort of deep richness to his voice, and you kind of get it throughout the song. But I think he kind of sweetens his tone up a little bit. But vocally, I really liked what he did here. And then instrumentally, a lot to enjoy here as well. I think the drumming was fine, but really what stuck out to me was, of course, the guitar work. I think from start to finish, I just really loved that smooth guitar that he played throughout. And then the bass, I think the bass was, again, like kind of deep and rich and really set a nice tone for the song overall. Really worked well with the guitar. And added just a little bit of groove to like this otherwise just like very beautiful song, right? So yeah, instrumentally, vocally, I really like this one a whole lot. I'm giving it 2 big thumbs up. As far as replay value goes, I think this one easily makes the playlist. Honestly, I had a really good time listening to it. It was one of those that you can kind of just kick back and enjoy, but with a lot of really good instrumentation and vocals. So yeah, this one makes the playlist. I'm giving it 2 thumbs up for replay value. Overall, I had a good time. Sort of a redemption arc for Elvis Costello, at least here on my channel, in my ears, So, yeah, really enjoyed this one. Another great entry into this series, I think. Glad that we got to kind of circle back to Elvis Costello. We'll definitely do at least one more from this album. With that said, guys, if you enjoyed the music as much as I did, go support the artists. Go listen to their music wherever you can. And of course, if you enjoyed what you saw here on the channel today, consider supporting the channel. Like and subscribe and comment, just all those normal things that you do on YouTube for all your favorite channels. But you can also check the description if you'd like to follow me on Twitch, TikTok, or Instagram. I will tell you, I'm most active on Instagram. Don't really post on TikTok a whole lot. Twitch, I haven't streamed in a while, I fully admit. Maybe one day soon, hopefully. Anyway, with all that said, hey guys, let's wrap it up. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye for now.